Hi, I'm Katherine Bennett, and this is the story of how my husband's betrayal led to the most satisfying revenge served in a multi-million-dollar package. Sometimes the most powerful weapon is the secret you keep quietly to yourself. 15 years ago, I was just Kate Sullivan, a promising young architect with big dreams and an even bigger work ethic. That's when I met James Bennett at a construction site. He was charming, ambitious, and seemed to understand my passion for creating spaces that felt like home. We fell in love over blueprints and building permits. "You're different from other women," he'd say, watching me sketch designs late into the night. "You understand what it takes to build something from nothing." If only I'd recognized the warning in those words. How he valued the building more than the builder. We married in a small ceremony, using our savings for a down payment on a tiny starter home instead of a lavish wedding. I continued working at my architecture firm while James focused on growing his real estate business. Those early years were beautiful. We were partners, dreamers, builders of our future. Then came the project that would change everything. A client approached my firm wanting to build the most luxurious mansion in Oakwood Heights. The budget was unlimited, the design specifications extraordinary. I poured my heart into the plans, working countless nights, perfecting every detail. "This could be our dream home," I told James one evening, showing him the designs. "We could build it ourselves," he laughed, kissing my forehead like I was a child sharing a fairy tale. "Maybe someday, honey. For now, focus on getting the commission." What James didn't know was that I had already been saving and investing for years. Every bonus, every successful project fee, carefully managed and grown. While he saw me as just another architect at a prestigious firm, I had quietly become one of the city's most sought-after residential designers. The mansion took 2 years to complete. Every inch was my creation. From the hidden wine cellar to the rooftop garden that bloomed year-round. The client, an overseas investor, gave me complete creative control. What nobody knew, not even James, was that the mysterious client was actually me, working through a shell company I'd created years ago. "The house is magnificent," James said when I gave him a tour after completion. "Whoever owns this is one lucky bastard." I smiled, holding the secret close. A week later, I surprised him with the keys. "Happy anniversary," I said. "Welcome home." His joy seemed genuine then. We moved in, and for a while, life was perfect. I continued working, now running my own boutique architectural firm, while James's real estate business flourished, partly due to his wife's connections in the architecture world, though he never acknowledged that. Then came Ashley, his 28-year-old assistant. I first noticed the signs at our annual Christmas party. The lingering looks, the inside jokes. How she touched his arm while laughing at his stories. I said nothing, watching, waiting, gathering evidence as methodically as I gathered building permits. 3 months ago, James started coming home later, smelling of unfamiliar perfume. His excuses were as poorly constructed as a house built on sand. Last week, he finally stopped pretending. "Kate, we need to talk," he said over dinner in our magnificent dining room with its hand-painted ceiling. "My design, my creation. I've fallen in love with someone else. Ashley understands me in a way you never could." I set down my fork, my face calm. "I see. She'll be moving in next week," he continued, not meeting my eyes. "I think it's best if you find somewhere else to stay. My lawyer will be in touch about the divorce." I nodded slowly, remembering every document I'd carefully filed away over the years. every company I'd created, every detail hidden in plain sight. "Of course," I said quietly. "Whatever you think is best." Yesterday, they arrived together while I was packing my office. Ashley sauntered in wearing my favorite design, a camel suit that matched her fake blonde hair. "This house is far too elegant for someone like you," she sneered, running her hand along the custom marble countertop I had sourced from Italy. "It needs a real woman's touch." James stood behind her, arms crossed. "Kate, you need to be out by tonight. Ashley has plans for redecorating." I picked up my last box, looking around at my creation. Every angle, every shadow, every hidden detail designed by my hand. "Enjoy the house," I said softly, walking out. They didn't notice my small smile as I left. After all, the best architecture isn't just about what you can see. It's about the foundations hidden beneath the surface. That night, in my downtown penthouse that James knew nothing about, I made some calls and sent some emails. By morning, their perfect world would come crashing down as spectacularly as a controlled demolition. After all, I didn't just design that house. I built an empire. And James was about to learn that sometimes the quiet ones are quiet because they're planning something extraordinary. The next morning dawned clear and bright. I arrived at the mansion precisely at 8 a.m., accompanied by my lawyer and a team of movers. Through the grand windows I had designed to capture the morning light, I could see James and Ashley lounging over breakfast in my custom-designed kitchen. The doorbell's chime, a subtle symphony I had specifically chosen, echoed through the house. James opened the door, his smug smile faltering when he saw the entourage behind me. "Kate, what's all this?" His voice wavered slightly. "Oh, just some paperwork that needs immediate attention," I replied calmly. "May we come in? After all, it is my house." Ashley appeared behind him, already scowling. "Your house? James told me his family trust paid for this place." I smiled, remembering every lie James had told over the years. "Actually, let's discuss ownership. Please, sit down. You'll want to be sitting for this." My lawyer, Sandra Shen, spread documents across the dining table, the same table I had commissioned from an artisan in Florence. "Mrs. Bennett," she began formally, "would you like me to explain, or would you prefer to do the honors?" "Oh, I think I should," I said, watching James's face carefully. "You see, James, remember when you laughed at my dream of building this house? While you were busy climbing the real estate ladder, I was creating something much bigger. Sullivan Architectural Enterprises, my company, owns this house. Through a series of shell companies that, ironically, you helped me set up when you were still proud of my success." James's face paled. "That's impossible. The overseas investor was me," I finished. "Every decision, every material choice, every hidden feature. I designed them all because this was always meant to be my masterpiece. The house is registered to one of my companies, which I've kept separate from our marital assets. Your name isn't on a single document." Ashley jumped up. "You're lying," James said. "James said a lot of things," I interrupted, nodding to Sandra, who produced more papers. "But let's talk about what James doesn't know, like the fact that half of his real estate empire's major projects were actually funded through investment companies I control, or that his biggest clients came through my architectural connections." The movers had already started working, efficiently packing up specific pieces. The art I had commissioned, the furniture I had designed, the pieces that made this house unique. "You can't do this," James whispered, watching as his perfect world crumbled. "I already have," I replied. "But don't worry about having nowhere to go. Ashley's condo, the one you bought her 6 months ago, that was through a development company I own too. Consider both your leases terminated." Ashley collapsed into a chair, her designer outfit suddenly looking cheap against my hand-selected upholstery. "James, do something." But James was staring at more documents Sandra had laid out. Detailed records of his affairs, questionable business dealings, and financial manipulations I had quietly documented over years. "You have 2 options," I continued calmly. "Option 1. You both leave now, quietly, taking only your personal belongings. I'll buy out your legitimate business interests at fair market value, and we never see each other again." "And option 2, James asked weakly. "I release everything I know about your business practices to the SEC and your clients. You'd be surprised how many wealthy clients don't appreciate discovering their real estate developer was embezzling from their projects." The next few hours were a blur of legal documents, moving trucks, and shattered illusions. By afternoon, I stood alone in my foyer, running my hand along the wall I had designed to catch the sunset's light perfectly. My phone buzzed. My mother. "Did it have to end this way?" she asked softly. "He gave you no choice," I replied. "He thought he was living in his house, building his empire. He never realized he was just a tenant in mine." The aftermath was swift and public. James and Ashley disappeared to some small town in Florida. My architectural firm flourished, now openly acknowledged as one of the most innovative in the country. The house, my house, became even more famous, featured in design magazines as the pinnacle of modern architectural innovation. Sometimes, late at night, I walk through these halls, touching the walls I designed, smiling at the secrets built into every corner. James never understood that true power isn't in what you show. It's in what you keep hidden until the right moment. Last week, I received an offer to design a luxury hotel in Dubai. The client specifically requested the architect who built the Bennett mansion. I accepted with a smile, already sketching new dreams. As I write this from my home office, watching the sunset through perfectly positioned windows, I think about lessons learned. Sometimes the quietest person in the room is the one who built the room itself. James thought he was living in his dream house. He never realized he was living in mine. The house stands as a testament not just to architectural innovation, but to the power of patient planning. Every hidden passage, every secret room, every careful detail was designed with purpose, just like my revenge. They say success is the best revenge, but I think true victory lies in building something so magnificent that those who betrayed you have to watch from the outside, knowing they once had it all, but lost it through their own greed. As for me, I'm designing my next masterpiece. After all, the best architects know that after every demolition comes the opportunity to build something even more extraordinary.